Orchard Seed Company.
So we need to drain the water out of here and replace it. It's been a week. So we're just using the little water vacuum pump. So after you empty the reservoir, you need to fill it back up with some purified water, preferably reverse osmosis water. If your tap water is under 300 parts per million, you could probably use that. But you would definitely want to change that out every 7 days. But we normally change this out every 7 days anyways, just to keep the system clean. We're rocking 6 gallons in this reservoir right now. And sometimes it's a little difficult to get all the water out of these jugs. I'll show you a quick way how to help that out. So we're doing the other 3 gallons of the 6 gallons, and we try to change it out every 7 days or so, just to prevent buildup of any kind of bad juju that can go on. You can get algae or plankton, or you can get fungus or weird bacteria in the water, and by keeping it over 7 days, you have a chance to that building up and occurring. So the last little bit we still want to get in there. So what we'll do is put the rest of that water in a pail, and we'll use the same evacuation pump for the water there. Just stick that end in there and kind of turn it on and get the rest of that in there. Alright, we've turned on the recirculating pump in the reservoir, and it's time to add some nutrients to it. We're using a 3-part system from Cutting Edge. We're going to start with the micro. You want to make sure you wear gloves before dealing with any nutrients or chemicals. It's just the best practice. You may want to wear eye protection if you're not careful either. In this system, we're probably just gonna, we're in week, 6? So we need to put it at like a 0.6 EC, which is about 300 parts per million. So I'm gonna start it off with, let's see, we'll say 2 pumps of each at first. And you want to start with micro first because it has calcium, and you usually want to start with the calcium nutrients first. So that was 2 pumps of the micro, and we'll do like 3 pumps of grow because we're kind of tapering it down. And then we'll do 2 pumps of bloom. sometimes the phosphoric acids in the bloom can get a little clogged in the nozzles of these. So now we've done 2 pumps of micro, 3 pumps of grow, and 2 pumps of bloom. We'll let the recirculating pump run for a little while, maybe 5 minutes or so, and we'll test this water out, see what it reads at. Alright, so we're turning on our parts per million meter, or EC meter. I have it on the 0.5 scale of the parts per million right now. And the water is reading at about 245, 246 parts per million. That's pretty much 0.5 EC. And that's just fine because I think the tubes are a little bit higher in parts per million than the reservoir is. From what we had before, I think we had it at what, a 0.9 or so. Like we just did that a couple days ago. And we just exchanged the liquid in here, which wasn't very much. These plants drank about 3 or 4 gallons in about a week or so. It's pretty crazy. So the pH of this reservoir is about 6. You want to have it about 5.7. That's about your perfect area right there. So we're gonna keep the pH meter on and get our pH down. And what we're gonna do is literally just put like a small drop. Like I'm talking just like a tiny drop that comes out of that. You know, like if you have a essential oil bottle and you've got it kind of at an angle and it just like drips one little drop, that's what I'm talking about with these. You just want to have like one little drop go through into that reservoir at a time. With the reverse osmosis water, the pH down can be very, very volatile to the pH, and it can plummet it very easy. So can the silicon dioxide or any kind of silica like that you're using. It can ramp the pH up pretty hardcore. So we're sitting at about a 5.6, and I'm not going to touch it. That's where I want it. We've got some enzymes set aside. We're using the Advanced Nutrients Syncyzyme. And for a 6-gallon reservoir, you want to use about 45 milliliters or so of the Syncyzyme. So you just drop that in the reservoir, let that mix in for a bit. What enzymes do is they keep your system clean, they break down dead material. This particularly is, I think, a 3-part enzyme. Yeah, it has glucanase, cellulase, and xylanase. So the cellulase is really more or less your most important one to aim for, because you're looking at breaking down cellular material that's made by your plants. That's your root zone. You know, dead roots that'll break down in your tubes and also inside your pumps, and it'll keep things cleaner if you just run it. And it can also prevent some bacterial and fungal algae problems too that exist on the roots, and decaying matter. It can help with bug problems preventively, because bugs are attracted to like decaying matter and all of that. So you'll have less, you know, you should have less flies, you should have less gnats and aphids and stuff like that. So get some enzymes, run them in your system. It'll be cleaner. Just make sure not to overdo it, because you can burn your plants pretty badly. But you don't want to underdo it, because you want to make sure you're achieving the effect of the enzymes. So make sure you have fresh enzymes and not like 1 year old or more material. Same with your liquid nutrients. Make sure it's at least within the year of production or the last couple years. If it's 3 years old or more, it's probably not any good anymore, I'm guessing. I've had this experience lately with products ordering online and receiving old products and trying to run them, and they don't work out as good. So make sure you get fresh nutrients and enzymes. Alright, so our pump's been running, our recirculating pump in the reservoir has been running for a little while. Check the pH, and we're at 5.7 pH, and that's right where we want to be. That's perfect. We couldn't ask for better, honestly. Let's check our EC real quick, and we're still at about 240 parts per million, 250 parts per million. Rinse it off really quick. And it's probably about 260, and the tubes are a little bit higher, I'm sure. So that's just fine. Next video we're gonna run over the reservoir setup, the pump timer, the lighting and timing on the lighting, explanation of the black plastic and the light leak behind that, and then a little bit about the fan and airflow. And we'll continue with another 2-part video later on how to get this whole thing started and set up.